Good. Good morning, Penn Hills family. It's great to be back for session 2 of Coffee and Conversation. We have a informative program today. Dr. Mozzocio, myself, Assistant Superintendent, will be leading the charge. Before we begin, I would just like to reach out to all the parents and community members. Please continue to submit questions, concerns, so that we can keep this alive and moving forward. With that being said, a few upcoming events that we have going on in the district. The first being Secretary of Education, Dr. Mumin, is scheduled to be at our Linton building on Thursday, May 23rd. We're very excited for this visit. Additionally, we have Kennywood Day on May 24th. That is next Friday. The students do not have school. Memorial Day is the following Monday on May 27th, no school. A huge celebration for commencement will be on Friday, May 31st for the class of 2024. And then lastly, love to celebrate Teacher Appreciation Month during the month of May. That is a great segue into our first guest today. It is a pleasure to recognize Miss Andrea Hartley, who is a second grade teacher at our Penn Hills Elementary School. Miss Hartley was nominated for the Education Partnerships Elementary Teacher of the Year Award. This is amazing. Mrs. Brown, if you'd like to talk a little bit about that accomplishment.
I would love to highlight Mrs. Hartley. I have to start by saying that this award and this nomination actually towards this award is actually a nomination from her peers. So I think that goes to show you just the respect that Andrea, Mrs. Hartley, who's on the meet, has just developed over the years here as her commitment to the Penn Hills School District. She has been in the district over 25 years. I've worked with her most of those years, so I'm really confident to say that she's deserving of this nomination, and I encourage everyone to apply or to nominate her. I think she has still a few days left for the recognition. She's collecting those votes on the Education Partnership website. But just a few words about Andrea. She is one of our dynamic educators. Again, been around for a lot of years, but still has the same energy and student focus that she had when she was younger. She is definitely the teacher she's a grade level leader in second grade, and she does model best practices for community and building, student engagement. She recognizes the needs of all students. And I have to say, she meets kids where they're at and she moves them forward and grows them every year. So this recognition is truly deserved, and we are crossing our fingers and toes to hope that she is actually awarded this Teacher of the Year from the Education Partnership. So we're so very proud of her.
Ms. Hartley, anything you'd like to say?
Oh, well, first of all, I just want to thank Mrs. Brown for all those kind words. As she said, we have worked together for a really, really long time. I think I only worked 1 year without you. So it's been a while. But I'm so honored to be nominated, especially, Michelle Rodden is the person who nominated me. And she is a phenomenal teacher. When she was the math coach more focused at the elementary, every time she came into my classroom, I learned something new from her. So like for her to nominate me just, really means the world, because I really respect her as an educator and as a friend. And I'm just so happy that my nomination brings some light to Penn Hills Elementary School and to all the wonderful things that are going on here. So I appreciate everyone who has been voting for me, and fingers crossed we'll bring the award back to Penn Hills. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Hartley. You make us proud, and we will certainly do our part. We're going to put out a blast on social media, so anybody watching this feed, please take a few minutes and get on there and click for Mrs. Hartley. With that being said, we're coming down the stretch here. A few days left of school. One of the major activities left is graduation, but there's also, tons of other end of the year activities. Mr. Herdman chime in from our high school and talk to us a little bit about what's on tap.
All right, good morning, everybody. We have a lot planned for our students, especially our seniors, over the next 2 weeks. So first off, tonight we have a chorus concert. We have a wonderful chorus program with the show choir, concert choir, cantabile at 7 p.m. at the high school. So it is free admission. Come check it out. We are 1 week away from prom, so really exciting. Prom will be held on the Gateway Clipper. It's a tradition. We have been on the Gateway Clipper for almost 40 years, and we are one of their longest clients. So they really take care of us. They really love when Penn Hills comes down. They always have great things to say about our students. So that's really awesome to hear. If you're wanting to come down, the kids start arriving around 6:30, walking down the ramp to the Gateway Clipper, and we set sail at 7:30 next Thursday. So a lot of people in the community come down and watch the kids and see them in their beautiful dresses and tuxes. It's really an exciting event. The next week, also on that day, Thursday the 23rd, we are also honoring our underclassmen. So there is an academic awards program in the morning. I think we have about 120 or so 9th, 10th, and 11th graders that are going to be honored for their academic achievements. So if you are a parent and you received a letter in the mail inviting you, please come. Your child is getting an award. It's going to be live streamed into the classrooms for all the other students to see. So we're really excited about that. The next week, Memorial Day is Monday. We're kicking it off Tuesday with our senior activity and academic awards. We have another great program planned for those students. We'll be issuing some scholarships, giving out some awards, and just celebrating the class of 2024. It's a really exciting day. After that, the kids will get their cap and gowns, and I'll be taking cap and gown pictures for the students that I'll edit and hopefully get to them by Friday in their email so that they can share on social media. That's free, no charge. Wednesday, the 29th, really exciting day for the whole district. After COVID, we started doing take-arounds. So the seniors come up to the high school, we give them a nice little breakfast, and then we take them to Linton and the elementary, and they walk around in their caps and gowns. The little kids love it. It is really exciting. Not only do the little kids love it, the teachers love it as well. They love seeing these kids that they had when they were, 5, 6, 7 years old and seeing them grow up. We have name tags for the kids because some of them, look a lot different than they did in kindergarten and first grade. But I know that all of the kids are really excited as well as the teachers to see. So we're encouraging as many of our kids, our seniors, to show up for that. The graduation practice is an important day. That's on Thursday. We'll go over specific details with our students, so the seniors really have to make sure they're present for graduation practice. Graduation commencement is on Friday, May 31st. There is a live stream. So it is actually, the link is actually on the school district website, www.phsd.org. At the top banner, it's there, and there's actually a countdown. So right now we are at 15 days, 9 hours, 20 minutes, and 33 seconds till commencement. So that's a nice countdown. So you can access the link there. Students will receive 6 tickets, red wristbands. The red wristbands are good for indoor or outdoor. Okay, so if the ceremony has to be moved indoor, each senior can have 6 guests. They'll also receive 4 additional yellow tickets. The yellow tickets are good for the outside ceremony only. So if we are at the outside at this football field, each senior will be allowed 10 guests. So 6 for indoor, 10 for outdoor. Students will have to be at the high school no later than 5. Commencement starts at 6:30. I would recommend families try to get here a little bit early so that you can make sure that you get a nice seat so that you can see the graduation accomplishments. It will be live streamed as well, and that link will be there for you to access. And there'll be a photographer there. We have a professional photographer that will be providing a link within a week after graduation for you to purchase professional graduation pictures of the students receiving their diploma and on stage. So lots planned for our seniors, lots planned for our underclassmen as well. We just want to finish strong over the next 2 weeks and have a restful summer.
Thank you, Mr. Herdman. Okay, we're going to move on to some other questions. These questions are in the arena of special education and more specifically autistic support services. We're going to have Mrs. Golden and Mrs. Biancanello chime in. So the first question is, my granddaughter is a student in the autistic support class. What are the district's educational goals for students with special needs?
So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. The district's stance on growth for students with special needs is the same as any student, and that is to show growth. It's very important for students to show that academic growth. However, the difference between a special education student and a regular education student is that special education student's growth is based on the goals outlined in their individualized educational plans. So the focus for that student growth is how they are achieving on those goals. So Ms. Biancanello can talk specifically about autistic support, but again, the growth is based on the goals outlined in the IEP.
Hi, good morning. Our special education teachers, and specifically our autistic support classroom teachers, spend a lot of time focusing in on the needs of each individual student. So it really is a matter of getting to know each child in the classroom in order to best support them. We have a lot of consultation time with the AIU. Well, they will come in and help talk about individualized plans for children, any assistive device needs that our kids in our classrooms might have, any advice on sensory needs or behavioral needs, things that, we're seeing come up, and just looking for a different idea or a different way to best support each kid in the classroom and in the school in itself. Our classrooms in our autistic support rooms are very routine and scheduled. Kids get used to having that kind of structure going on. We also have our OT, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and our speech therapists who will push into those rooms or pull the students out. So depending on the needs of the child, and it really does work out well, and the whole team works really well together to best support the kids.
Thank you. The next question. How can the district provide more opportunities such as extracurricular activities for autistic support students and other students with special needs?
That is a great question, and a question that I have, we've actually been focusing on in my office. What I would say at this moment is that if there is an activity that any student with a disability is interested in participating in, that they make that information or that request known to the case manager, the special education case manager. Once that special education case manager has that information, then we, myself, Ms. Biancanello, or Ms. Gent, who is the secondary special education coordinator, will work with the different club sponsors, or Ms. Strauss as the athletic director, to ensure that our students are participating in the activities and receiving the necessary supports that they need to be successful.
Thank you. And we'll probably mention this later, but one avenue we are going to explore is unified sports, for the district with bocce and other, athletic events. I think that could bring extended morale and help build our culture and inclusivity throughout all of our buildings. And then the last question I have in the arena of special education: why do some extended school year students with IEPs from Linton Middle School attend the elementary school at the third grade level? Please provide a more challenging curriculum this summer, and what do you have to say about that? What can we do?
So I would just say that the ESY program is at the elementary building. So that is for, all students grades K through 12. So it's not a matter of, us picking and choosing a building, but that is where the programming is located. I would also say that, again, the purpose of the extended school year program is to really focus on that special education students' goals, and to ensure that we are providing those additional interventions and supports so that the regression that doesn't occur over the summer. So with that being said, Ms. Biancanello, who is spearheading our ESY program this summer, can provide a little bit more information regarding the exciting for this year?
So this year, I'm really excited. We are revamping a little bit the ESY program. So we are going to be focusing around a theme of Olympics, especially since this year the Summer Olympics are in France. So an overall theme to sort of connect our K to 12 graders who come to ESY under a universal idea, and then individualize that with their goals and work on that through the summer. So that is a time whenever we really do try to keep each kid from regressing. We want them to continue to grow over the summer, keep them in their routines, keep them moving forward. And we do that in a lot of different ways. There are opportunities for the kids to rotate through classes. So we also have Mr. Herdman's there, math, and then we have science with Mr. Moss from the high school. And the kids have an opportunity to get that instruction from those teachers as well, and that's their specialty area. Some of our younger kids will stay with their special ed teacher in their classrooms differently. So it just sort of depends on each kid's needs. But we're really excited about this year with some of the new activities on Fridays, because it is a Monday through Friday program this year. So on Fridays, we plan to have almost like a built-in type of field trip kind of thing, but in-house. So there's a lot of fun things coming that are being planned, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it. It's a great program.
And again, our
Thank you.
ESY program runs July 1st through July 26th. Except for July 4th, students will not be in attendance. And as Ms. Bianconello said, the program is Monday through Friday. We added the Friday on for this year, and the time for the program is 9 to 12.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move over to sports and potentially plant management. Question: as a parent of a student who participates in 3 sports, swimming, baseball, to name 2 of them, how are you going to fix the problems of not dreams that will fade away if we do not do something to fix this?
Good
Mr.
morning.
Strauss?
You want to
Go
start?
ahead, Mr. Jamal.
All
Yeah.
right. Good morning. I'll start with some of the pool repairs that we have planned. Currently, we're working with HF Lens and Aquatica Pools. They're both engineers and pool experts on developing a plan for the repairs for the pool so we can at least get it up and running. They were actually just here last week to look at the pool. They're in the middle of the design phase right now. We're going to have that go out to bid to get repaired. Our current timeline to have that the pool back open is around December of this year, 2024. We're going to push them as hard as we can to get it open in time for varsity season. But I also want to be realistic with the current timelines. And that'll help get the pool up to code and operational again for us. That won't be a full renovation of the pool. We do have those budget numbers and working diligently to try and fit that into our capital plan.
So we're going to communicate with Olympic Swim Club about renting their pool for middle school swimming this fall, and then to start the varsity season in November and December. So that's our plan until the pool is fully operational. We're excited about it getting repaired. So thank you, Brandon, for your hard work
You're
on
welcome.
that.
Okay.
And then do you want to talk about the baseball fields?
Please.
Yes. Our baseball and softball fields, we had some turnover with our employees. We have all new staff that are working on the grounds and on these fields this year. So we provided them training through Advanced Turf on how to properly maintain the infields. With especially how wet this season was and all the different weather conditions we get and throughout use, it takes about a year to have them fully trained on how to properly maintain the field. So we've been working hard on that, but then we've already been in conversations with our utility staff on ways we can improve the fields with improving the pitcher's mound, the batter's boxes, the transition from the infield to outfield, and just infield itself. We're working on doing some of that work this fall during the off season. So it's up and ready and looking great for next season's sports.
And like Brandon said, it was a really wet spring for about half the season. And I want to thank the maintenance team. They worked really hard and they were really open to learning about how to maintain the fields. And I want to thank them for all their hard work and for our coaches and parents and players' patience to work through things. And we're always trying to improve and get better.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to stick with Mr. Chabola here. What alternate safety routes and accessible ramps are you working on for students and staff who are mobile challenged when elevators are down?
There's a couple different things we have for just during normal school day at the high school when it's a non-emergency. We're thankful that high school has 2 elevators, so there's 2 different options there. The elementary school and middle school, they only have 1 elevator. So at the elementary school, we purchased an egress chair that the person can be strapped into, and it just takes 1 person to take them down the stairs. And that can be used for a normal time when the elevator is down or during emergencies when it's not advised to use the elevator. We wanted to make sure that we only purchased that 1 chair so far just because we want to make sure it fit our needs and worked as expected. And then we're planning on getting some more of those for the other 2 buildings as well. So we have a good plan for those situations. And then at the middle school, I also wanted to add that we are renovating that elevator this summer because it is original to the building from 1968. So we're getting it renovated to all the current codes and standards. The inside of the car will look new, and it should be new equipment that runs it. So it should be reliable for us for another 20 to 30 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going back to the elementary school. Question: can metal detectors be implemented at the elementary school for all students upon entry into the building to ensure safety for students and staff? And we did touch upon this in Coffee and Conversation session 1, but let's recap.
Okay, happy to. So again, our current practice at the elementary is that we do have some metal detectors in daily operation. Students at random come through the metal detectors on a daily basis. It does rotate through different students throughout the year. We also have a safety plan in place where it is a common practice in our classrooms for our teachers to greet the students upon entrance, interact with them, engage with them, helping them unpack their book bags, looking for homework, making sure they have their devices. And in that process, they're also checking book bags to make sure only necessary instructional items are brought to school. However, we are also in conversation with our safety and security directors, and we will have continued conversations this summer on how we can enhance our practices while keeping the welcoming school environment in mind for our little students that are aged 5 to 10 years old. So that's going to be the conversation over the summer. How do we enhance security while maintaining that friendly, welcoming environment for our kiddos?
Thank you. I'd like to turn the topic over to mental health, and I'm going to introduce one of our department heads for guidance, Amy Vinsler, and wanted her to talk to us about, what's on tap for the district.
Ms. Vinsler, you're muted.
Got it. Pardon me. Good morning, and thank you for letting me speak on such an important topic for our students and families. My name is Amy Vinsler, and I'm a school counselor at Linton Middle School, where I have worked for the past 30 years. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but truly, our mental health, not only our personal mental health, but for all of our students and our community, is a lifelong commitment. We hear people talking about self-care and taking care, of yourself, and it is true. No one can pour an empty cup, so please take care of yourselves. I want to share what we do and how we may impact your students in the Penn Hill School District who might be struggling. At all 3 buildings, there are staples, and then there are specific supports that are based on the age of our students that are utilized. and they are as follows. Every building has Yes Team, the Yes Team. They are trained Yes Team members, and they are our first line of intervention if a child is having some behavioral or emotional difficulty during the day. It can be an outlet for the child to take a break if needed. They can talk and vent to that Yes Team member. They can provide a space to calm down. They can articulate the problem, and then the Yes Team can try to figure out the most appropriate intervention. So they are our first line of defense. All three buildings provide school-based therapy. Right now, our school-based therapy program is being run by Wesley Spectrum. An integrated program, if a parent has transportation issues, if they've got multiple children and they can't get a child to a therapy appointment weekly, we take that barrier out. We provide the school-based therapy here, where it depends on the severity of the case and what the child needs. But those will be set up weekly, maybe bi-weekly with Wesley Spectrum. It does require a referral process, and it is billed through the parent guardian insurance, but it sure is a nice way to be able to make sure that we're addressing the mental health needs while the student is in school instead of putting the burden only on the parent. All three buildings have what we refer to as our SAP program, which is our Student Assistance Program. It's run by the Allegheny Children's Initiative this year. And what they do is they aim to be a bridge to connect students and families to outside resources and supports. The goal is to eliminate any barrier to the child's performance and success, academic, social, emotional, mental health. The SAP liaison works with the student and the family to determine the appropriate level of care and types of resources that they benefit from. They meet with the core team weekly in each building. And it's composed of the school nurse, the school psychologist, principals, the school counselors, some of the teachers. So you get a nice picture from the SAP team at school, plus parent input. And then what happens is basically they meet with the core team at the school to discuss the possible referrals, address the concerns, and appropriate interventions that we may be able to provide for the family and the students. Those are three things that all three things have: Yes Team, school-based therapy, and a SAP program. Then we have some little caveats to all of that based on the ages of our students. So at the elementary, we have what's called the cool zone. And this is kind of nice for me because I really don't know what goes on a whole lot at the elementary or the high school because I'm embedded at Linton. So it was nice for me to get a feel for what goes on there. But the cool zone seems like a really neat program at the elementary, and the kids seem to enjoy it. It is a level 3 intervention. It is a higher level intervention for a student they be, really struggling in the school with their mental health. It requires an in-home piece as well. So, and an in-school portion, such as observations of behaviors. There's an intake piece, and it does require parent and family engagement. Referral is needed, but it is a real great support within the school system itself. The elementary also runs groups based on the student need, and they also have check-ins, which are referred to as B buddies, which is QDOT. At Linton, what we offer here are offer different groups and also check-ins. Sometimes a student may find a person that they are, especially familiar with or is comfortable with, and they want that person as a check-in. We also run groups based on, where our students are struggling. And we have here at Linton and also the high school, we have what's called the New Directions program. And it is kind of where we address restorative practices within the district. It provides a space to decompress for students. It addresses the behavior concerns. Each New Directions room at the high school and is equipped with trained personnel able to talk with the students, implement goals, and provide interventions. And that is new, the past few years, the New Directions room, and it's a great program. So the high school, in addition to that, also has groups, mentoring options, and within the guidance counseling department. The school counseling office has many resources available, and the counselors invite students and parents to arrange for a conference or for a resource consultation at a mutually convenient time. They offer what is called the BAM group, which is Boys Mentoring Empowerment Group. And they also have check-in connects with that are offered by the counselors and other staff members based on the child's needs. There are, and that's basically the 3 buildings in a nutshell. If you have any concerns about any of the mental health resources that we have here in the building, please reach out to your school guidance counselors or your New Directions counselors. But I also just wanted to point out on the district website itself, there are 2 really important resources for acute and emergency crises. And one is the 988 number, and that is a suicide crisis lifeline. And they are linked to all types of local counseling agencies here in Pittsburgh. And I have to say, I just called it because I wanted to make sure it worked. So I did dial the 988, and it was, they picked up right away, and then they can link you in to get resources in our community. And the other resource I like to provide for families is the Resolve. Everyone experiences moments of crisis. You might be struggling with depression or substance abuse, or it may be overwhelming, problems at work, at the family, having a conflict with a loved one. Resolve is another really good resource for emergency situations. They have a walk-in crisis center on Braddock Avenue, and then the 800 number is provided on our website as well. So there are things that we can do for crises, and things that we can try to tackle at lower levels to try to help our students be as successful as possible. Dawn?
Thank you. I would just also add that at the high school level, we do have several providers that provide more trauma-based, trauma-informed services through our Cure Violence, and also they have mentoring as well at through One Nation Mentoring. As Ms. Vinsler spoke of, the Becoming Man FAM program is also a targeted program for our young males at the high school, and we are looking at growing that program as well. So we are always looking for ways to provide students with interventions and supports, because we recognize that our students come with a lot of barriers, a lot of challenges. And so however we can support our students, we will do so. But I would also say that along with the SAP process and program, we also need parents' permission and support with that as well, to provide any of the mental health services that are available to our students. And I'm not sure if Ms. Vinsler said this, but I think that she is, not giving our guidance counselors a lot of credit. They go into our classrooms, both elementary and at our middle school, and provide those group types of interventions and supports for our students through character education, social emotional learning. So they really, hit the students, groups of students, as well as work with students on an individual level.
Thank you. And I'm going to rearrange the agenda a little bit, because I think Mrs. Vinsler and Mrs. Golden answered a lot of the next question here. How do you plan on making the school district more inclusive for minority children dealing with behavioral and emotional challenges, aside from just sending them to alternative placement? So I think you heard a lot of the supports that are built in, but I will reinforce it that all students are unique, and we have to address them on an individual basis. We're going to continue to enhance our supports within the school. We do have strong positive support systems in our schools, and we will continue to our professional development with all of our staff to make sure we're having best practices. Students are to all different resources to help students in whether it's drugs, alcohol, vaping, you name it. We can put them in the right direction for that type of therapy. We do have therapy that comes into our school, so students do not have to leave and miss their English or math lesson. And this is where the parents, along with the school personnel, determine what is appropriate for a behavior plan for that individual child. What are, the reinforcers that we can get the expected behavior, or, what are the consequences? So I think we talked about that at length, and we're going to move on to the last section of our programming. I'm going to introduce our assistant to the superintendent for teaching, learning, and assessment, Renelle Williams. And the question that comes from a parent to Renelle: what happens with all the data that we get from Keystone and PSSA testing?
Hello, I'm glad to address this. We just finished up our PSSA testing window, and we're currently in our Keystone testing window. With that said, our data is more than just those two exams. We collect data on a daily basis. Our teachers are constantly assessing our students. So we look at everything. We have STAR, we have CDT, we have, excuse me, classroom data. We look at the attendance, the behavior, and all of that. Basically, they're all pieces to a puzzle that create a picture for everybody to be able to provide all of those services that everybody before me just talked about. So the data is really extremely critical to every student in our system. And then we have recently just had our comprehensive plan approved. And guess what it was written around? All of our district data. So in looking at that data and drilling it down, we're looking at our primary focus for the next 3 years, and we've actually started this already. School safety. We're looking at those MTSS supports and interventions that we heard Ms. Golden speak about. We were looking at attendance and career benchmarks, and we're looking at our district professional development and providing teachers with best practices to support our students around the data. So that's kind of what we do with our data. It's a living, breathing document that's done every day in every classroom.
Thank you. And I can assure anybody listening to this in the community, that's what our focus will be, laser focused this summer, breaking down data, looking to enhance our instruction, in the classrooms where we can get better. With that being said, we appreciate everyone for tuning in for the second session of Coffee and Conversation. Please come out to our upcoming board meetings all summer. We will have meetings in June, and we will have meetings in August, and there'll be pertinent conversations revolving around our security plans, cell phones, and many other items. So the more the merrier, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day, a great weekend, and thank you to all the staff and personnel that have talked today and discussed their points. And I think we have Mrs. Strauss may want to add one other thing, and I know what it is. Go ahead.
Our track and field team had an outstanding day yesterday at Whippeals, the Whippeal Championships. Ashawn Green got a gold medal in the 110 high hurdles. He also got a third place finish in the 300 hurdles, going to states in both of those events. Callie Booker took third place in the 100 meter dash, going to states next weekend. In the girls 4x100 meter relay with Jaden Golden, Callie Booker, Mackenzie McIntyre, and Malia Powell. They took fourth place, which is state qualifier as well. Ron Porter took fifth place, just outside the state qualifying number, but we're really proud of these student athletes, and they're actually continuing today at Slippery Rock at 4 o'clock. They got inclement weather last night, so they delayed it to today. So good luck to the rest of the events today. I'm really proud of them.
Congrats to our student athletes. Okay, everybody have a wonderful rest of the day. If you need anything, please email me, call my office. Talk to you soon.